You're listening to Spy Gazette featuring Guru Nosra.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, madame and monsieur, mes enfants. Welcome to another edition of Spy Gazette. My name is Guru. Recently, we received a communication from an avid reader and listener who has deep contacts within the U.S. military upper echelon. The communication began with, "How is your Russian?" Of course, the communication captured our attention, and the information that it allowed was riveting. Although we cannot release the method of delivery or its owner to public domain, we have been given permission to paraphrase and refer to limited sections of information supplied in order to expose the latest plans and dastardly deeds of the Obama administration and those cowardly people such as Putin and Assad. We do caution you that this information will not be released by mainstream media, and plausible denial has already been experienced when attempting to validate information contained in the clandestine information. We present this to you for adjudication. In a nutshell, the Syria-US standoff has been resolved, or has it? John Kerry, the war resistor, the Vietnam whistleblower, the coward, tried his level best today not to smirk when he announced the framework of an agreement. The truth is, Putin is leading Kerry by the nose. John Kerry, in many eyes, has been mentioned on the internet and elsewhere as an arrogant, ignorant coward who disgraced himself during his own military service and has spent over 30 years disparaging those who served honorably. Now, he has claimed victory over Putin and Assad in negotiations for control and destruction of chemical weapons, even though Russia's leader has truly defined his honest feelings about the American president in an opinion piece in the New York Times. But the gist of the agreement kind of goes like this. First of all, it's a six-point agreement, 2 pages. We'll talk about the framework in a few minutes, but the agreement in itself consists of 6 points. First, the amount and type of chemical weapons must be agreed and rapidly placed under international control. Now, it is estimated at 1,000 tons of chemical agents and precursors in Syria. Interestingly enough, no information demand has been made of the Syrian rebels, who also have chemical weapons. Second point was Syria must submit within 1 week a comprehensive listing of its stockpiles. Now, you and I both know a list that will take months to validate by UN inspectors, a UN system yet to be devised or authorized by the UN. No demand of Syrian rebel inventory, which has been received from Saudi Arabia. We know Syrian rebels in the Damascus suburb of Ghouta have chemical weapons. And 3, extraordinary procedures under the Chemical Weapons Convention will allow expeditious destruction. 3 decades after the US started destroying its own chemical weapons, the nation's stockpile still stands at more than 3,000 tons. The military does not expect to complete its destruction until 2023. Yet the Kerry plan supposedly will have these weapons destroyed by 2014. The fourth issue was Syria must give inspectors immediate, unfettered access to all sites. We've seen this ploy before. In Iran and Iraq, we know how unsuccessful it has been. And 5, all chemical weapons must be destroyed, including the possibility of removing weapons from the Syrian territory. Removal of weapons from Syria soil. And yet, Barack Obama was emphatic when he said he would not put boots on the ground.
I will not put American boots on the ground in Syria.
And thanks to our contact who keeps his ear to the ground, it has been reported in a number of underground news organizations that in fact US troops in Fort Hood have received orders supposedly to deploy to Syria and Egypt. I wonder what that is all about. Obama promised no boots on the ground. Has he changed his mind again?
I will not put American boots on the ground in Syria.
So, in a nutshell, Kerry has agreed to nothing. In fact, Kerry has given Syria and Russia a way off the political battlefield and surrendered the high ground to Putin. Russia and Syria have bluffed and bamboozled yet another Democrat, who happens to be Secretary of State. Mainstream media will continue to puke out the Obama diatribe of success and gloss over the ugly side effects of each action and its reality of implementation. The key phrase, which is gladly ignored by the mainstream media, is framework of an agreement, which means there shall be weeks, months, if not years, of committees and meetings to flesh out the agreement, where negotiation shall of course be required. Now this is where Iran joins the table and begins advising Assad and Russia on negotiation tactics and tricks, running rings around the West as they have done for years, and they all call it in the guise of the official framework of agreement. Go to our blog, check it out. There is a complete list of the 2-page framework of agreement right on the blog link. The foreign intelligence desks around the world are in 24-hour heightened status, as continued reports show a buildup of ominous forces for and against Syria. Russia has sent their carrier killer, the Moskva, into the Mediterranean. Chinese ships are already in place. American warships, British warships lingering in the peripheries. The U.S. Foreign Intelligence Desk attempting to hold together the last remnants of a respect gained around the world by former administrations. The U.S. capabilities to maintain their top dog status have been depleted and restricted by Obama's poor political decisions based on warped visions of a better Muslim society. The Obama damage control team are wearing thin and continue to increase their staff as accusations and threats pour into the domain of NSA sniffer programs and systems. Mainstream media continue to spew regurgitated propaganda. However, there are a few journalists who continue to attempt to tell the truth. The smell of politically rotting flesh shall soon be at hand. The Democrats are beginning to eat their own. The Obama administration, no doubt, have assured Putin that he has no intention of bombing Syria and that the deployment of naval forces are for domestic consumption only and to shore up Obama's sagging approval rating. However, one false move, one misstep in the Mediterranean, and it could be a game changer. And it's a classic wag the dog tactic. SPIII has reported over the last month a number of stories which mainstream media have yet to explore. Validation of each story can be found on open source through the internet or on our blog on a daily basis.
vocr2012.blogspot.ca.
With regard to Syria, in my humble opinion, the United States of America shall song and dance with Russia and Syria, and negotiations shall progress and collapse in accordance with the need of each party. The Syrian gas issue has now become a political football between Russia, Syria, Iran, and the United States. It shall take weeks to get UN inspectors on the ground, months to validate the 50 sites, and then begin the removal of disposal to where it may require US troops to secure the disposal sites. Now, if that is not enough, then add the failure of negotiations with Iran's nuclear and North Korea's nuclear, and the political time bombs of Benghazi, and the sale of arms to Syrian rebels through the CIA, and Syria shall not go quietly into the night, but neither shall true Western thinking people who love their country and wish their country to survive. Why would a nation spend millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, developing and creating chemical weapons only to surrender them after its first use and in such a minor way? Had Assad truly wished to use chemical weapons, I believe it would have been a mass killing. Unless those weapons were not originally Syria's, the cost factor becomes irrelevant, doesn't it? Syria, Russia have no interest in giving up chemical weapons without something in return. All parties have agreed to the framework and Syria has agreed to not transfer chemical weapons outside of Syria. Yeah, we heard Iraq promise that also. So did Iran, so did Afghanistan, so did Lebanon, so did Saudi Arabia, so did Egypt. I believe Syria, Russia shall use the reverse system used when moving Iraqi WMDs to Syria, basically returning the chemical weapons to their rightful owners. Syrian rebels are receiving chemical weapons from Saudi Arabia, yet they have yet to be challenged for their use. Over the last 2 weeks, the Russian-Syrian intelligence machine have made a fool of the United States, while Obama has made a fool of the American people. The destruction of chemical weapons may not be as easy as has been led to believe. It is a daunting task to destroy Syria's chemical weapon. And in ending tonight, let's take a jab at Hillary Rodham Clinton. Apparently things are not swimming for the 2008 loser of the presidential seat. Yep, Clinton is being investigated. Without a supermajority, Obama is done in 2016. He can't run again. Obama has activated one of his attack teams to basically destroy all who may follow him after he leaves office. The dismantling of possible replacements from both Republican and Democrats is becoming very, very evident. Obama is about to destroy the U.S. system. And he's starting with the big dog herself, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Now, apparently a D.C. executive is linked to secret 2008 aid to Hillary Clinton, and the feds are looking into Clinton's 2008 campaign for links to D.C. corruption. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. And the plot thickens and continues in Washington, and SPY will continue to bring the breaking news, the underground news,
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Until next time, agents of SPY.
To contact Spy Gazette, all Guru says, email spygazette@gmail.com.
This has been a TerraChat Network production.